undefined, soul's desire. You don't even know what you did. Now I'm on fire, fire, burning, burning out of control, taking me higher, higher, a feeling I can't hold on my own.
Sorry, I was just dancing away to my new intro, which I absolutely love. Great song. I am on fire. I'm Innerji, the Metaphysical Crone, and welcome to my Psychic Connection. I hope you've had a great week so far. I'm really happy to be here again with you all tonight. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, as you know, with this season 2, I do a different theme for the show every week. And if you have a look at my background, my theme tonight is all about trees, but more about that later. Now, we've got the emoji game happening tonight. So yes, you can start keying in all of the emojis right now, because later in the show, the person who puts in the most emojis will win a divination reading with me. So start keying in. I love kangaroos. I love blue hearts. What emojis do you love? Show me your favorite emojis and let's get this emoji game going. So for those of you who are new, I've got a tongue twister night tonight, so look out, people. But if you're new here tonight, or if you're returning, I just want to remind you of the rules when it comes to readings. So firstly, the free readings are 2 minutes long, and when that bell goes off, I need to stop. Then there are the options if you want to go deeper and dive longer into a reading. You can choose from a 3-minute reading, which is 1 question only, please. Plus there is the mini and the mega readings. Now they are untimed. The mini question is also just 1 question, and the mega reading can be on a couple of topics or have follow-up questions. Now, I'm not doing mediumship readings tonight, but as you know, we have some great readers here who are also mediums. So if you would like a mediumship reading, you can either check out Journey Ryan, you can check out Psychic K Show, you can check out Destiny K Show. And of course, if you would like a private reading of any kind, not just mediumship, you can go to mypsychicconnection.com website and organize to have your reading there. Now, some of the other rules, please, please, please make your questions specific, particularly for the shorter regions, because it takes time with general readings to get in and try and get the information. And lots of times we're giving you information that you already know about. So please, with your questions tonight, no general readings at all. I will pass them by. So we want a little bit of context, a little bit of detail. It's not just asking about what does my love life look like. It's asking about, I would love to be in a relationship. You know, I've got my eye on someone. What are the chances of that working out? Or I'm in a relationship and I just want to get a feel for where it's going. So be as specific as possible. Choose an area of life, whether it be career, whether it be love, romance, family. Now, we do have some no-go zones. Few no-go zones. Besides no general readings, there are no medical or health-related readings at all. Now, that does include asking about future children, pregnancy, and end of life. The other area that we don't delve into and don't touch on is anything related to legal or the law. So that's court cases, inheritances, custody. We just stay away from those because they're best left to the professionals. So with all of that, I think we're all ready. Are you typing in those emojis? Keep typing for the emoji game. And I think we need to get to our first question. Who do we have, please? And we have our beautiful Gemma. Hello, Gemma. Lovely to see you back. And Gemma says, it feels like things have progressed with Adam and a lot closer since his visit here. I'm so glad to hear that, Gemma. Now, the question is, does this scare or overwhelm him in any way? It does scare me investing in case it goes wrong or won't be long term. All right, I'm going to use my love deck for you, Gemma, and just see how things are happening with Adam, whether he's feeling scared or overwhelmed about how this relationship will progress. Let's see what we have. Okay. So the first card I have is the Nine of Pentacles. This card represents you, Gemma, and this is how Adam sees you. He sees you as a woman who is self-sufficient. He sees you as a woman who is in control. I know you don't see yourself that way. I know that you have anxiety and you get worried about things, but this is how he sees you. He sees you as this wonderful soul, this beautiful, beautiful woman. So I am not getting any sense around him feeling overwhelmed or scared about how this relationship will progress. Now, I do have the Five of Pentacles, or the Five of Coins, and this is a card about what we don't have, about loss. And so I feel that for you, I feel that you need to focus more on the positives rather than on the fears that you have, because it's the fears that are getting in the way from your perspective in really fully trusting and 100% giving your heart. Let's add a T coin to that. And the T coin I have is the Mountain. I don't see this relationship going anywhere in terms of it being negative. I see it steady, strong, and stable like a mountain. I do not believe that he's there for you. He's there for you. Gemma, stop worrying, my sweet. Stop worrying. You're good. It's all good. Thank you so much for your question. And everyone, that's a great example of a good, solid, detailed question. I don't know, relationships. I talk about relationships a lot because they're so meaningful to us, aren't they? You know, and the self-doubt that can creep in within ourselves around relationships can be hard to overcome. But it is about sort of stepping back and looking at it objectively. I know that sounds weird when it comes to matters of the heart, but really looking at what goes on in a relationship as opposed to what you think is going on. That can really make a difference. So, you know, if you're in a relationship, looking to be in a relationship, keep that positive outlook. That is really, really important. All right, so let's take our next question. Who do we have, please? And we have Arisha. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, my dear. It is a beautiful name. And Arisha asks, hey, will I find the ideal guy I want, or will I have to settle with someone who wasn't even my type? Well, my sweet, when it comes to settling with someone who's not your type, that is a free will choice as opposed to something that is done through divination. But let's ask about meeting someone that you can settle down with for a long, loving and supportive relationship, because I feel that's what you're really asking with this particular question. So I'm going to use my love deck again. Let's see what we have as I shuffle the deck. Let's have a look at a longer term relationship, meeting someone who's good for you and you're good for them, because relationships are two-way streets. All right, my dear, I've got the Five of Cups to start. So I feel, and Arisha says, exactly, yes, I am. Thank you for that feedback, Arisha. And I'm starting off with the Five of Cups. And this is saying to me that, unfortunately, you're looking at things from a more sad, negative perspective. I feel that for you that there have been some things that have happened, and I've got one past relationship in particular that is still influencing you emotionally. And so that's making you kind of hold back again. It's like, I want it, but oh, what if I get hurt again? I want it, but what if I get hurt? The next card I have is the Seven of Pentacles reversed. And this is saying to me that you're not putting yourself out there. You're not putting yourself in a position to meet the type of person with whom you can resonate, with whom you can open your heart to. The fact that you've asked the question about needing to settle or having to settle, this is about an attitude change. You are worth more than settling for someone. So this is about you putting yourself out there and getting to know people again and learning to trust again. I've also got the Page of Pentacles. And this is saying that in order to meet someone, it's about changing your outlook regarding this whole thing of feeling you have to settle. But you know, there is someone out there for you. I don't have a timing for it, and I'm sorry we've run out of time. There is so much more I could have said. And so thank you so much for your question, Arisha. I really, really appreciate it. Relationships are like trees. There's my out of the blue comment for the night. Relationships are about trees because trees in nature are all connected. And we are all connected through our relationships. And Arisha says, thank you so much. You are so welcome. And trees are all connected. They're connected through their roots and different species of trees. So tonight's all about the wonder of trees, both what they do for the planet and also a little bit of mythology around them as well. One of the main functions for trees that is of benefit to we humans is the fact that they absorb carbon dioxide and put out oxygen, which we need to survive. So they put all that out into the atmosphere and take the carbon dioxide away. So planting plenty of trees and having trees around is vital to our own survival in the long run, isn't it? Trees provide shade from UV rays that can burn our skin. Trees help reduce runoff when we have a lot of rain because their roots absorb and draw the rain down the trunk into the roots and into the soil. They are also fabulous in terms of providing food. Hello, an apple tree. I found this little interesting point. Do you know one apple tree can produce up to 600 kilos, that's 1,120 pounds of apples per year, even just in a small space. That's incredible, isn't it? Incredible fact. But more about trees later. I think it's time for me to branch out and take another question. Who do we have? And we have Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. Lovely to see you here. And Jimmy says, hi, I was wondering about this job front for me. Had done some interviews prior and wondering what will come of them. Another great question, Jimmy. Thank you so much for asking that. So let's have a look at what will come of these interviews that you have had prior and see if there is a job in the offing for you. Okay. I feel it's been a bit of a mixed bag with the interviews for you. I feel some interviews you haven't done so well because I've got this cups card here, this 5 of cups, which is, you know, feeling down and out, feeling a little bit low. So I feel there are some interviews that perhaps could have gone better. However, there are other interviews that went really well with this 6 of Pentacles. This I see as a whole give and take thing. I see that these interviews were well balanced and that the interview process went well. Moving forward, I've got the Pentacles reversed this time. It's the 7 of Pentacles. And I feel like there's still a bit more that has to happen. I feel that there are 2 jobs because I've got the 2 of Wands. There are 2 potential jobs that are the top of the queue, if you like. But I feel that they haven't made a decision and there may be a request for more paperwork or there may be some sort of follow-up before they make a decision. Now, will one of these jobs pan out for you? Let's have a look. And I've got the King of Swords reversed and I'm not getting a time frame on this. I feel that you've got to keep looking. You've got to keep putting yourself out there in the meantime because this is a card of indecision. And so I feel that those that are making the decisions about these jobs, they're going to take quite a while to decide. But you are looking good for 2 of them. Let's do it swiftly, see what we've got with the T coins tonight. We've got the monkey. So I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going. So keep an eye out for 2 jobs out of the ones that you've interviewed for. Look back at those interviews, see which ones look the strongest. But I don't feel like you're going to get an answer terribly soon on any of those. I'm so sorry I don't have better news on that, but keep looking. And thank you so much for your question. It was a good one. So trees. Tree associations. Trees have been in mythological and the historical lore of different cultures all around the world for eons. In many cultures and in many myths, a tree is considered a vital part of the universe. It's considered almost the structure of the universe in some ways, and that the messengers of the gods traveled from world to world by climbing up and down a tree. You went down the tree to go into the underworld. You stayed in the trunk to be in the middle world, the plane we're on now. And you would go up through the branches of the tree to go to the upper world. Interesting, these myths around trees. Like the ancient Celts, for example, they had certain trees that were very, very mystical and meaningful to them. They were oak, ash, and thorn, and they had special significance, particularly for the Druids in ancient times, as well as providing fuel, building materials. They made ornamental objects, even weapons from them. Trees are probably one of the most versatile species of plants on the planet. And I use the word plant loosely because to me, trees are in a category all of their own. And speaking of categories all of their own, who do we have with a question next? What category do we have? And we have Anne. Hello, Anne. And Anne says liked and shared. Oh, thank you so much, Anne. I do appreciate that. And Anne says, my love interest, but he was hesitant to date me for some reasons. Do you see this will change and we will have a romance? We still communicate as we are connected through his business. Great question. So let's have a look around why he was hesitant. Will it change? And how likely a romance will blossom and grow. So hesitancy for one card. Let's look at what needs to change. And let's look at the potential of this romance. So his hesitancy. You know, I've got the Two of Cups here. This is a fabulous card for romance and for relationships. I feel emotionally that you're on the same page. I feel his hesitancy is more to do with who he is. It's not his nature to jump in quickly into things. He likes to observe. He's got a bit of a cheeky nature on the surface, but I feel like he likes to observe and he likes to be sure before he opens up his heart. That's why he is hesitant. I also feel that being in a work situation, there are some other issues around that means that it's a little bit harder for this connection to happen. It's almost like there's something at work that might be blocking the way forward. It might be you work too closely together. It might be that, you know, there's an imbalance in terms of him being a boss or being a subordinate. I feel there's something in the workplace that is holding him back, as opposed to him not feeling like he would like to pursue a romance. So what needs to change? I've got the Magician reversed. I feel that both of you need to look at this from a new perspective. I feel you need to look at it within the context of what do romances at work mean and step outside of that if you can. How likely is it that there'll be a romance? I've got the Ten of Pentacles reversed. I feel there's a bit of flirting, but at this stage, unless something changes within the work environment, I don't see it moving ahead into a full-blown long-term relationship at this stage, because remember, the future is fluid. Thank you so much for your question. I wish I could have got the Lover's card or beautiful hearts for you, but that doesn't mean you don't give up on this. And that leads me into talking about when is it appropriate to give up on something or someone, and when is it more appropriate to keep pushing? You know, a lot of our questions about the future are around that. Do I stay in this relationship or do I go? Do I stay in this new job or do I change jobs? And there's so much that comes into that when we're looking at, do I stay, do I go, do I give up, do I start again? And lots of times it's an emotional reason. So I always encourage people, when you're at the point of something, do I keep pushing it? Do I keep pushing it? Or do I give up? Look at how you feel about it. Look at what's motivating you around it and see if that helps you with your decision, because there is no easy answer when it comes to that, I have to say. Back to trees. More about, oh, it's time for Crystal Connection. Where has the first part of the show gone? I can't believe it. All right, the Crystal Connection game. It's a new game for season 2. For the show, I chose a specific crystal. Now I'm going to encourage you to tune in. I'm going to send you the name of the crystal. It's coming out through the ether right now. Guess the name of the crystal that I have chosen. Starting the clock right now, so start keying it in, all your guesses or your intuitions, and the winner will receive a divination reading from me. So start keying in. What crystal did I choose tonight? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't a green crystal. and it wasn't a blue crystal. So start keying in those crystals. Tell me as many guesses as you can, or see if you can use your intuition. I find these games that we do here at My Psychic Connection a great way for you to work with your intuition a little bit as well. Now, speaking of crystals, one of the crystals I'm going to be talking about tonight, because it's technically not a crystal, it is actually amber. And amber is tree sap that has been fossilized and is millions and millions and millions of years old. There's a raw piece there. I'm wearing an amber necklace. And where's my other one? I've got another one here somewhere. No, I must have put it away earlier. Oh, there it is, hiding under my deck of cards. So this is amber. Amber has been known over the centuries as a talisman. It's a talisman of beauty, protection, and renewal. It's organic. It's organic, so it's tree sap, frozen. I like to think of it as frozen light or frozen tree sap. And it's a resin that oozes from living trees. Usually they come in dense prehistoric forests, because these are like millions and millions and millions of years old, and they have many benefits. It used to be many, many years ago that children would be using these as teething, when they go through that awful, painful teething period. And in the last few years, this has come back into fashion again. So you can buy them as teething tools for babies when they go through teething. But in terms of its metaphysical and energetic properties, amber attunes to ancient wisdom. So it's great for past lives, tuning into past lives, tuning into ancestors. We didn't have a winner tonight. Never mind, it was a little bit of a harder one. And the winning crystal was smoky quartz. Look at that. Beautiful smoky quartz, very grounding, very protective, a little bit like amber. But that's okay. We will do another crystal connection next week. And what I am going to do is I am going to pull a card for everyone, since we don't have a winner. And I'm going to be using my Voice of the Trees deck, since we have our theme of trees tonight. So here we go. And the one I have is hawthorn. Beautiful hawthorn tree. And the energy around this tree is around looking at obstacles and tension. What are the obstacles in your life at the moment? The world is a crazy place at the moment. It truly is. There's so much going on. There's a lot of negativity. But what can we do about our own personal obstacles? What can we do about the tensions that we are experiencing now? And it is about facing them to a certain extent. It is about looking at what they are and not trying to ignore them completely, so that they don't keep growing and developing. So this is a time for you, with this beautiful hawthorn tree with its strong trunk, its strong roots, its age, is facing obstacles and facing the tensions that you're feeling, and looking at what you can do to move forward with them. So just a little bit tonight from the Voice of the Trees. So let's take our next question. Let's see who we have. And we have Amanda. Amanda asks, what should I focus on at this time for my spiritual growth and happiness? Well, I'm going to focus on your spiritual growth, because I have to say sometimes our spiritual growth can be quite challenging, and, happiness is a different thing. So let's have a look at what you need to focus on. I'm going to take the word should out, your choice of focus, the options of focusing for spiritual growth. Let's have a look. And if you can tell me a little bit more about what's going on in regard to that, that would be really helpful. So the first card I've got out is the 10 of Wands. And so I feel like for you, there are a lot of burdens around you at the moment. There's lots going on that is kind of getting in the way, not just of your spiritual growth, but your ability to do the practice, to do the work. All spiritual growth requires the work and the effort. And I feel like some of the everyday things are weighing you down and draining your energy. So I feel it's about you starting to build your energy up again. Now, I've also got the 4 of Coins reversed as well. And this is saying to me that you need to focus on holding back a little bit. You need to turn this card upside down and squirrel a little bit of that energy away, so that you can focus on your spiritual growth, your spiritual path. It's about having Routine's not the right word. It's about having practices, regular practice, regular tuning in. And it's also about you, in terms of your spiritual growth, looking at what's important to you. Do you follow a particular... And Amanda says, yes, very drained. My life stresses at the moment. Yeah, that is showing up in that 10 of Wands card. So one of the things to do is look at, well, what is it that's draining you? What can you do to address that? You know, we don't live our lives in compartments. It's not, you know, there's the spiritual Amanda and there's the work Amanda and there's the, you know, the family Amanda or the friend Amanda. Everything is interwoven. It's about addressing those details in your everyday life and setting up a practice, a time where you can regularly just sit. And this applies to everyone. If you're looking to grow spiritually, I mean, we're all growing. We're here on the planet, we're all growing. But if you want to focus on it, if you want to bring it to the fore, it is about setting up a way that works for you in this busy, busy world. For some people, it's sitting quietly at night doing breath techniques or meditating. For other people, it's doing yoga. It's about looking at what your belief systems are as well, whether you like to follow gods and goddesses, whether you are more earth-based or whether you are more astrologically based. There are so many spiritual ways of being and growing. It's about finding what resonates in your heart. This is for everyone. We find what's in our heart and we follow that. And from there, you can find growth and the way forward. The other thing I wanted to say about that is sometimes we are growing spiritually and we don't even realize it. Sometimes the biggest spiritual growth comes through the burdens, comes through the challenges. So just something else to consider. How's everybody doing tonight? Are you all peeing in those emojis? Let's put heaps of emojis in it. Let's see who we can get winning the emoji competition a little bit later in the show. Let's go to our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Hannah. Hi, Hannah. What do you see happening with my job or career? Well, Hannah, that's a little bit of a general question. If you can put in the comments for me, are you looking at changing jobs? Are you looking at what your current job might look like moving forward? So if you could pop that into the question chat for me, just a little bit more detail to give a bit of context, because there are so many things that can happen within a job, but also within a career path, because they might not always be the same. So I'm going to put out a few cards anyway and see how we go. Okay, I feel that there are some things going on in regard to your job at the moment. I've got the King of Cups reversed, so I'm feeling that things are out of balance. I feel that for you, you're not really satisfied with where you are at the moment and what you are doing in terms of the location of the job that you're in right now. I've also got the Two of Swords. And Hannah says, I got laid off on Monday and I'm a little stressed over how it's going to go. Do I stay to see if it will work out or move on to something new? All right, so this is no wonder you've got that King of Cups reversed. Your emotions are shot from being laid off. I feel that for you, you've got to look further afield. I've got the Two of Swords reversed. When this is upright, she can't see where to wield those swords. So I feel for you, it's about looking beyond this particular job. I'm not saying that you don't try and get your work back there, but I feel like you've got to move on. It's time to move forward. And we've got more swords here. So swords, as well as about communication and planning, they can represent conflict. And this is the Nine of Swords here. And you're going through a really, really difficult time. You're reacting. You're in shock at the moment. So how do you move forward? Let's have a look at the likelihood of a new job coming for you. I'm going to look at October, November, December. I feel it's going to be closer to December. I know this is a bit scary for you, but I've got the Four of Swords reversed. Lots of swords in this reading. So I feel it's about you taking some action. It's about you starting to look for new jobs, starting to put applications in. Don't wait. If you feel that you want to go back to this job that you've been laid off from, then it doesn't mean that you completely walk away. But don't limit yourself to that. Please don't limit yourself. Start looking around. Really important for you to do. And I do hope it works out for you. My heart goes out to you because that must have been a bit of a shock when that happened. And sometimes, you know, this is for everyone. Sometimes jobs change for no reason. We can be laid off, not because we're not necessarily doing a good job, but circumstances within an organization change. There are so many reasons, but it doesn't change that feeling of rejection that we have. And Hannah says, thank you with a blue heart. You are so welcome, my sweet. And I send you lots of hugs and love. But yeah, it hurts no matter what the reason. It really can hurt, and it can make our confidence levels drop to an all-time low. So if you're in that situation like Hannah, don't let your confidence levels drop. Know that you're worth it and keep pushing through. Thank you so much for your question, Hannah. I really, really appreciate it. I think we should move on to another question. Who do we have, please? And we have Hayley. Hello, Hayley. And Hayley says, hello, how do you see John feeling about me? I believe he and I will ever be able to talk. Oh, will he and I, do I believe? Well, it's not about what I believe, it's what the cards say. But will he and I ever be able to talk in person to one another? His vibes are throwing me off. Well, let's start off by looking at how John is feeling for you, and then we'll look at how the communication might go. So, how is he feeling? And how might it go? All right, I've got the sun reversed. Now, the sun reversed isn't completely negative for you, but I do feel like he's feeling a bit low. I feel like he's backed off. I feel like something specific happened around this that has caused this, as opposed to lots of little things. I feel like there's one specific thing. And I've got the Four of Pentacles. And when you look at this card, when it comes to people, one person is stuck on their phone and the other person's watching. And so I feel like something happened that stopped the communication like that. And I feel for him, his energy's feeling really low. I'm feeling so sad when I think about John's energy. So I feel like he's gone into self-healing mode around this. Moving forward with this, I've got the Hierophant reversed. In order for this to come back with communication again, I think you've got to let go of what happened on your side. John has to deal with it on his side. But I feel if you want to recommunicate and get that connection back, you're going to have to do it in a new way, in a different way. The old ways haven't been working in terms of this connection with John. So it's about thinking anew, thinking about a new way of reconnecting and recommunicating. But the good news is I've got the Page of Wands, so I see potential here. I do see the potential for I feel that the desire is there, but you're both hurt. You've both got a little bit. Go to your corners for a little bit, give it a little bit of time, and then see how you can perhaps look at reconnecting in a new way, because there is potential there for that. Thank you very much. And that's another great example of a really, really good question. So I want to talk a little bit more about trees. Trees. In Greek mythology, dryads were like little shy nymphs, little fairy type creatures, if you like, and they believed that they inhabited trees. So Greeks were very honored and honorable towards trees. Now, the world tree in Norse mythology, now I do not know how to pronounce the name, I think it's Yggdrasil, and this is known as a central cosmic tree whose roots and branches extend to various worlds. Now, that was believed in the Celtics, with the Vikings and the North. So you can see sometimes how mythology goes across many different cultures. And of course, the Druids revered trees as well. They did many of their rites around trees. They did many of their rituals in groves of trees as well. And of course, the biggest story of all when it comes to the Buddha, the tree is a symbol of wisdom. And Buddha is said to have gained his spiritual enlightenment when he sat and meditated under a Bodhi tree. I'm fascinated by trees. I'm fascinated by what we apply to them and what we believe in them and how they are in our cultures around the world historically. And even today, we want to save our trees, don't we? All right, let's move on to our next question. Who do we have, please? And we have Ellie. Hello, Ellie. Thank you for being here. And Ellie says, hello, may I ask, can you get when my son will start college? He is healing now from his injury and wondering when he will be ready. Well, okay, so I can't talk about the healing now from the injury, although that might impact on the timing of him going back to college and him being ready. So all I'm going to do is have a look at timing for your son going back to college. And we won't be going into the medical side at all because we don't do medical questions here. So let's have a little look. So I'm going to go month by month. I'm going to look at October, November, December, January, February, March. So I'm going to look 6 months ahead. You know, I think the makings are there for him to start looking at it. I've got the Ace of Pentacles. Aces are about planting new seeds for big new opportunities, and this is about doing the practical stuff. So I don't see him going back to college in November, but I see him looking at what he might want to do at college, looking at what steps he might need to take in order to make it happen. So it's not a doing moment yet. November, I don't see it happening in November either because I've got swords here and I've got the Seven of Swords reversed. And so I feel that it's too soon in November. And also you've got to look at what are the college entry dates as well. I'm not sure what they are for your area of the world. Looking at December, I've got a no for December as well. So I do think he's got quite a while. I've got that Magician card reversed. And that's saying to me that there are things that still need to be taken into account moving forward around him going to college. January, things are starting to turn the corner. I've got that Wheel of Fortune card upright. So I feel next year, early next year, he will be in a better position in order to be able to go to college. And February, I feel February's looking positive as well with this 10 of Cups. So I feel early next year will be a better timing for him around going to college. I do hope you found that to be helpful. And thank you once again. That was a really, really good question. Are you typing in the emojis, people? Keep typing those emojis in. If I wasn't doing the show, I'd be typing mine in as well. And here we are, time for Mystic Moment. Every week on the show, I look at all things metaphysical because I'm the metaphysical crone. And this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the new moon. We've got a new moon in Libra coming up, and I'll just check my notes on this. It's going to go exact, which means it's right on the money, 0 degrees, where the sun and the moon are almost like twins. And that will happen at 1:55 p.m. on Saturday, this Saturday. That's in US time. And here in Australia, it will be 4:55 a.m. on Saturday morning. So this new moon, well, let's talk about new moons first. New moons represent new beginnings, starting something new. So regardless of what sign it's in, a new moon is a great time to start a new project, to start something new, to start planning for something new as well. Because then when we get to the full moon, when it gets to its climax, we can see what results we get before it wanes down. Now, there's something interesting about this new moon in Libra. It is also a solar eclipse, and it's an annular solar eclipse. Now, that's a fancy name for saying that the moon does not completely cover the sun. And when you look at it, it has this ring of fire around it, and it's colloquially known as a ring of fire moon. And so when we have this energy, it means that the moon's energy is stronger because it's got that fire poking out from behind it. And the moon in Libra is also quite strong there as well. So with this moon in Libra, this is a great time to look at relationships, not just relationships with other people, but relationships to ourselves, looking at the light and the shadow, looking at the polarities of where we are more outward and proactive in our lives and where we are more held within. Because the moon is more of a reflective energy. It's more of an inward energy. It's in astrology, we call it a negative polarity. It doesn't mean it's bad negative. It just means it's a more inward energy. So this one's a little bit more out there. And being in Libra, which is cardinal air, it's about what we think about. It's about our communication. And that's why I'm talking about relationships, not just with others, but with yourself as well. What's your internal communication like? Where are you out of balance? If you missed Squirrel and Journey Ryan's show on the astrology breakdown last week talking about Libra, I really recommend you go and watch it. It was awesome. Talks all about Libra and that being out of balance and trying to get the balance back. So this new moon is looking at where are you out of balance within yourself? What might you do about it? Looking at your relationships. How are they traveling? Do they need to come back into balance in some way? And balance isn't always 50-50, remember. Balance are always changing. The other thing I wanted to say about this new moon is the emotions. You know, with that cardinal air energy, our emotions, it's the emotional thoughts we have. It's how we turn our emotions into thinking processes and communication processes. And sometimes that can get in the way. So this new moon in Libra, a great time to renew relationships. It's a great time to start new relationships, but take it slowly. And it's also a great time to look at yourself as well and how you communicate with yourself. So that's a little bit about my mystic moment for this evening. I hope you have found that to be helpful. And I didn't show you my cards, which I normally like to do. There's one of a solar eclipse. Beautiful cards. All right, I think we should go on to our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Karen. Hello, Karen. Lovely to see you here. I love the photo of the cat. And Karen asks, will I find the money I need? Situation changed now. I can't get it from original source. Or do I apply concerning original source? Well, Karen, I just need a little bit more about what's this original source that you're talking about. Is it a bank loan that you're applying for? Is it a job that you're looking to get in order to bring money in? I can see that you're saying your situation has changed and you can't get it from where it was coming from before. But let me know a little bit more about the application in concerning this original source. And in the meantime, I'm going to throw some cards for you and see about finding money that you need regardless of what the source is. Let's have a look at that for you. And we've got the Seven of Cups reversed. I've got the Eight of Pentacles upright, and I've got the Sun. I feel long-term things are going to come around for you. At the moment, with this Seven of Cups, or Seven of Wine glasses in this case reversed, I feel like you're only focused on that. And I feel like you've got to open up. Look at other ways where you can bring money in, not just from one source. That's what I really see there. The other thing I see with this Eight of Pentacles is, this can literally be about money. Pentacles representing finances, money, the physical, practical things. And with this Eight of Pentacles, it's showing me that you actually need to put more effort in. I'm sorry to say that, my dear, but relying on just the one source isn't enough. You need to look at other sources. We've got 8 pentacles here, and he keeps creating more pentacles all the time. So I feel that you've got to look at more than one option in order to receive this money, in order to bring it into your life. And I feel if you do that, things will look a little bit more sunshiny for you at the moment. I feel that it's going to take a little bit of time, but I feel that things will turn around. But it's not going to, without looking further afield, without looking at more than one option. I do hope you found that to be of help, and thank you so much for your question. So the other thing about trees, as you know, I like to bring in all different associations for the show theme of the night. And the association that I've brought in terms of essential oils is the essential oil of cypress, the cypress tree. So this, when you smell this aroma, I wish we had a thing called smell-o-vision so you could smell how gorgeous this is. But this is a woody, smoky, dry kind of aroma. It has a little bit of green, a little bit of earthiness in it. And it's used a lot in more masculine fragrances like aftershave and stuff like that. But on a physical and energetic level, cypress oil is wonderful for clearing the airways. It helps promote deep breathing. So if you're a shallow breather and you want to deepen your breath, a little bit of that in the oil burner is really good. Cypress is also good for supporting healthy circulation in the body, particularly when it's used in massage. And in fact, in the time of the ancient Greeks, it was said that Hippocrates, who was the father of medicine, is said to have used oil in his baths to support healthy education. Now, I would suggest doing it in a massage blend rather than directly onto the skin, because we never use essential oils directly onto the skin. Cypress has also been used in traditional remedies all around the world to treat pain, inflammation, skin conditions, headaches, colds and coughs. With colds and coughs, if you've got like a blocked up nose, that makes so much sense to inhale a bit of cypress to help clear those airways. Now, metaphysically, it's great for promoting wisdom, your willpower, having the willpower to do something, and helping you find your direction. It also helps you to accept change, and it's great for reducing stress. But this is a beautiful oil. Overall, it's energizing, it's refreshing, it helps the mood, and it can help, like a tree with roots in the ground, keep you grounded. But remember, as with any aromatherapy, with any essential oils, always check the safety uses, particularly if you have any allergies or sensitivities. So a little bit about cypress. I think we might be ready for another question. Who do we have, please? Oh, we've got our emoji winner. We've got Arisha. Arisha, congratulations on being our emoji contest winner. Congratulations. So I am going to do a reading. This is the only time I do a general reading, is when I do it for a game or I'm doing something for the collective. And I am going to use, since we're in tree mode tonight, I'm going to use my Celtic Spirit deck and see what your message is, Arisha. See what is coming through for you. It's time for you to step out. And Arisha says, thank you, you're welcome. And so this is saying step out. Look at this beautiful card. It's time for you to step out. It's time for you to stop hiding. Stop wearing Harry Potter's invisible cloak of invisibility. It's time to have the courage to step out and do what it is that you want to do. You have been holding back a lot. You really have. And it's time to have that courage to be who you truly are and put yourself out in the world and shine. To balance that out, it's about recharging yourself as well. I feel that for you, there's so much going on with people's energy being low. Have you noticed that within yourself, within people that you know? Our energies are all over the place. They're fluctuating, but they're on kind of a low dive at the moment. So as well as having the courage to put yourself out there, you need to balance that by having enough rest, time out, and relaxation. So considering we've got that new moon in Libra coming up, this is your balance point. When to step out, when to rest and recharge. And then we've got a goddess here. Honestly, I'm terrible at pronouncing the Welsh goddesses, but this is Bladwed, I think. And this is all about your wisdom, your power, and transformation. So I feel for you that there's some big changes coming your way. You need to get ready for them. You need to be able to be seen. You need to have the courage to be seen, but balancing that out of knowing when to step back and rest. And then you will step into your own way, your own power. I just want to think of it at these ones. I haven't been using them very much tonight. Cherries, my dear, beautiful cherries, sweet, juicy opportunities coming your way. I want you to look at the sweetness in life. I want you to take that into you and have that courage to step out, recharge when you need, and have trust in your own wisdom and power to make the changes that you want to take. Thank you so much, and congratulations on being our emoji winner. That is awesome. Now, something. And Karina Grace says, love Mystic Moment. Thank you. I love it as well because, you know, being a Sagittarius, I'm like here, there, and everywhere. I've got so many interests. So I can look at all things metaphysical when we do a Mystic Moment. And speaking of all things metaphysical, if you have enjoyed your reading tonight, if you found it to be helpful, we are running the reviews competition again here at My Psychic Connection. All you have to do is go to journeyryanlive.com, leave your review, and the best review will win a 6-minute reading, which will be given on Friday night at 8 p.m. with Journey, Ryan and Friends. Journey and Friends. Now, that's one of the best shows. More than one psychic. So lots of readings, lots of fun, lots of energy. So please, if you would like to leave a review, if not for myself, but I hope you will. I hope you found it helpful tonight. But for all of our beautiful psychic readers here at My Psychic Connection, we so value your feedback and we value how we can read for you. And Arisha says, thank you means a lot, with lots of hearts. Oh, Arisha, you are so welcome, my dear. You really are so welcome. Okay, I'm ready for the next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Kayla. Kayla asks, what wound could be healed that would make a big improvement in my heart or mind? All right, so I'm going to have a look at what healing you need to consider around your heart and mind. I think that's the way we'll look at it, because wound is such a broad word. It could be a physical wound, which we don't do here. It could be an emotional wound. It could be a spiritual wound. It could be how we think. So I'm just going to go with what would make a difference to improve for you in your heart and your mind. So let's shuffle the deck and see what we have. Okay, we've got the Nine of Pentacles first. So the Nine of Pentacles reversed. This is saying to me that you've kind of cut yourself off and it's time for you to reach out. It's okay to be vulnerable, but it's about being vulnerable with the right people. So with this Nine of Pentacles reversed, I feel like you are in need of support at the moment, and that will help you heal in your mind and your heart. I feel someone that you trust, that you can talk things out with, would be really helpful as well. Not trying to do it on your own. At the moment, your heart and mind are hurting, and so trying to do it on your own is a real struggle, a real challenge. We've got the Hermit reversed as well. And this is also saying to me you need to open up to yourself a little bit more. It is doing a little bit of shadow work, I feel, but I feel that you need to do it with support, not on your own. I feel the emotional issues are the ones that are getting in the way the most, because I've got the cups again, this Five of Cups. She's sad, she's down, she can't see the positives. She can't see the glasses behind her that can be filled with something positive. So I feel that the key thing for you in terms, it's about healing your emotions, working with your emotions, working with your heart, things that have hurt you. I'm sorry, I've run out of time on that. There was more I could have said, but thank you so much for your question. Now, what else do I want to talk about tonight? I want to talk about petrified wood, since we're on our tree theme, and we've got petrified wood. Look at this. Beautiful. It's a beautiful crystal. A bit like amber, it's very, very ancient. But the difference between amber and petrified wood is that as the wood petrifies, it is actually replaced by minerals. And the minerals that replace it are quartz and agate. And so it isn't actually wood by the time it's crystallized or fossilized in this case. So this is another wonderful grounding stone. This is another wonderful stone for working with ancestors, for past life. These fossils are like 250 million years old. My mind can't even comprehend that number in terms of age, but that's when they were produced from ancient trees in ancient forests. This helps to slow you down. Petrified wood helps with slowing things down in this fast-paced world. It's also very grounding, very earthing. And when we slow down, we breathe a little bit more easily, no matter what's going on with us. So I usually like to have this around when I'm having one of my nervy days, you know, when I'm a bit like that. I find the petrified wood really grounds me in a deep, peaceful way. It also brings patience, because we live in a world where we want it now. We want it now. So this brings patience. It helps you to be patient about things you want to bring into your life. And it helps you to understand that taking time to enjoy the journey is just as important as what you want at the end of the story or at the end of the journey. So that's just a little bit about petrified wood, another wonderful, wonderful crystal associated with our beautiful trees. Okay, let's move on to our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Delphine. Hi, Delphine. And Delphine says, hello. Hello, Delphine. And asks, do you see me getting a better job soon? Well, let's have a look on the job front for you and see if a better job is going to come your way. So we're just going to shuffle, shuffle, shuffle and see what comes out. Okay, I've got the Two of Wands, so I feel like there's a choice to be made here. And I feel that if you want a better job to come your way, then look, what is it that you want in a job? Because if you're looking for a better job, then you're thinking that there's something in your current job, if you're working, that isn't feeling right for you. And so I feel like it's about sitting down and working out, what do I want from a job that will make it better for me? And I feel like there are two paths that you can take on that. One path is getting a better job in the same industry that you're in, or another path could be, well, what if I want to change my career completely? And that is a free will choice. But I do feel like there are two strong choices there for you. I feel whatever it is, getting lots of pentacles and swords tonight. I've got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Whatever it is, I feel like you've got to put the effort and the work in now rather than waiting. So if you would like to get a better job, if you haven't started looking, if you haven't started thinking about this, start putting some plans together. Start looking around at seeing what's out there for you, and also looking at what is it that satisfies you in a work environment. What type of work is it that satisfies you? And if it's not what you're doing now, then perhaps you might need to look at, well, what other skill sets do I need to learn? And that's what I'm getting from this card. I feel that you need to change your skill sets or improve your skill sets, widen them and broaden them. And then I have the Lover's card reversed. And so I do feel things are out of balance for you at the moment. And it's about coming into what you want to make of it, how you go forward. But I feel that there are options out there for you. I hope you found that to be of help, and thank you so much for your question. Now, I just want to remind you about the live shows. We've got another show coming up after mine at midnight tonight. We have the Shadows of Dreams. Oh my lordy, this is a fairly new show and it is fantastic, where Journey Ryan and Psychic Kay look into the world of dreams, their interpretations, their meanings. It's just wonderful. It really is worth tuning into. So that's midnight tonight. Tomorrow, we have our beautiful, beautiful, happy, hoppy bunny sugars with Down the Rabbit Hole. That's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's 9 a.m. Daylight Savings Time the next morning. Then at 10 p.m., we go deeper into the forest. I have trees, but Squirrel has forests. Whispers from the Forest with our beautiful psychic Squirrel. Another fantastic show. Her readings are, I just love them. Just love, love, love them. And then at midnight, Squirrel comes back and is joined by our own Journey Ryan with the astrology breakdown. So that's all happening at midnight tomorrow. So we've got a great lineup between midnight tonight and midnight tomorrow. So don't miss out at all with any of that. All right, it's time for our last question. Let's take our last question. Who do we have? And we have Jenny Lynn. Hello, Jenny. Lovely to see you here. And Jenny asks, when do you see my daughter contacting me, if at all? She's not talking to me at all. Please and thank you. Oh, it's so hard when families don't talk, particularly mothers and daughters, or, parents and children. So let's ask, how likely is it that she will contact you? And if so, when? So let's shuffle. Ooh. October, November, December. So I feel there's a bit of work to do, but I feel there's potential here. I've got the Three of Pentacles, and this is the card all about teamwork. So I feel that there is potential here, but work needs to be done. Somebody has to make the first move, and I feel it needs to be your daughter. I feel that she's the one that's pulled away, and I feel that she needs to be ready. But I see potential here. I see it coming together. Now, in terms of timing, I feel there'll be an opportunity in November. I've got the Six of Wands here. This is a card of victory. But I don't want you to be over the top about this, and don't be complacent about it. I feel that it's going to be a small door opening as opposed to completely reconnecting and, getting back in that lovely mother-daughter connection. I feel it's going to be a slow process, but I feel November there is a glimmer of hope there. December, I think things will be quiet with that Magician reversed. I feel that it's almost going to be a little bit of talk and then back away again. Reconnect, back away. So it's not just going to be you're going to come back together and it's all going to be good again. It's going to be a staged thing. It's going to go slow and it's going to go little bit by little bit. I feel there are some issues that have not been resolved yet, and that's what's getting in the way. But I feel next year things are looking more positive with the Nine of Cups. But I feel don't overwhelm her. Allow her to come to you. Give her the time that she needs. And while you're giving her the time, give yourself the time to think about how you might like to reconnect. I do hope you found that to be helpful. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you to everyone for your questions tonight. They were awesome, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And here we are. We're at the end of the show. I can't believe it. I hope you've had as much fun tonight as I have, and I want to leave you with a little saying. The only should that there should be is that there should be no shoulds, only choices. I encourage you to make great choices this week. Much love to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.